Hi, Karen here, and I'm here to give you the top 5 tips that I have for international travel.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're about to begin boarding. If we could ask for your cooperation, would you all please remain seated until your row has been called? Now, by the time that comes out the speakers, it must sound like, everybody up and rush the door.
Tip number 1, make sure you pick your seat ahead of time. It is well worth a few extra quid to get that emergency exit seat, especially for the long-haul flights.
Where?
The benefit also is that you are probably going to be located over the plane wing, which is the safest place to be on a plane should anything happen. Now, the thing you have to bear in mind is that you can't have anything with you on landing or takeoff, so you want to have your stuff up above as close to you as possible.
I just need to put him in the overhead locker.
Tip number 2, very important. You've gotten on that plane with a boarding pass somehow.
It's your boarding pass there.
I tend to use electronic boarding passes, but sometimes, especially with the long haul ones, I will also print it off as a backup just in case I'm delayed and my phone runs out of battery. Then you're really stuck. So print off a backup one, especially for these big flights. Now, this backup boarding pass, or the boarding pass that you print off, or the ones that they print out for you at the airport, they are not just little grids with the information of the flight and the seat that you're going to be sitting at. Cannot emphasize this enough. So what happens is that thieves will go to an airport, they'll buy a cheapy ticket going somewhere they don't even care because they're not going to get on the plane, and they go around the rubbish bins and they pick up everybody's discarded boarding passes. Because as soon as people get off the plane, they throw away their boarding pass because they don't need it anymore. People also do the same with their luggage tags. They rip it off their luggage handle, put it in the bin. Keep your boarding pass with you and tear it up in little pieces when you get to your hotel or home at the end of your trip. Do not leave it behind on the plane. Do not throw it away. That boarding pass is a very important piece of information and you do not want it to fall in the wrong hands. Tip number 3 for traveling internationally. Get some apps that are going to help you find food.
We're flying to Rome today, so I put in a special food order for all the wee Italian folk on board. For starters, we've melon with parma spam, then spaghetti hoops, and for dessert, a cornetto.
This is a big issue whenever you travel internationally and you're doing with foreign foods. My personal favorite is the Happy Cow app. I think it cost me $3.99 or something like that. I'm vegan, my husband's vegetarian, but if you're gluten-free or dairy-free or have anything like that, Happy Cow is a fabulous app. I have to say that my husband and I have had some of the best eating experiences because of Happy Cow. Because it also gives you restaurants that are kind of off the beaten track. It gives you reviews, so it's as good as TripAdvisor that way, but it's very, very handy, very quick, and very reliable. I love, love, love Happy Cow. Number 4, before you even make the trip, find out how you're going to get from the airport to your hotel room to get this vacation going. A lot of cities have really good public transportation, like Schiphol Airport, for example, even London. They have excellent public transportation. You can get into the city centre very easily, right from the airport. It's fabulous. Not all of them have that, though. So find out, does your hotel have a free shuttle? That's a real bonus. But that is a real issue, getting from the hotel to your airport. If you do have to use a cab, which is the most expensive option, a little tip for taking any cab when you're traveling in a foreign country or any large city. Set your Google map to your destination. Have the volume turned up so the driver can hear your map going along with you as you're driving. Also, too, you may notice the cabbies ask you, right when you get in the cab, they're probably being very friendly, but say, oh, is this your first time in Paris? If you say yes, you might be in for a nice little scenic tour of Paris. So, again, as excited as you may be, say no. I have been here before. Don't admit that this is your first time in the city. These are the people they're looking for to take advantage of, and it happens all the time. Also, too, make sure you're at a location that has a safe cab.
Just get me out of here, all right?
No.
At the airport, those are registered cabs, those are safe cabs. When you're at your hotel, if you do have to take a cab, ask the hotel concierge or the hotel reception for a cab to call for you. Those are usually the safest ones. It's not 100% guaranteed. I had a bad experience with a cab in Turkey once that the hotel had called for me. example, get the hotel to get your cab for you. Again, even if it costs you a couple of extra pounds, it is well worth it.
Tabby, just forget about this. It's nothing. Taxi driver.
And my last tip number 5, when you get to a city, see if you can see it in a bit of a different way. My preferred way of going around is to rent the local city bikes. And there are certain cities where they're big, like Budapest or something of that nature, where if you walk, you're going to be walking for miles and miles and miles and miles and miles and miles. Walking's okay, but if you hop on a bike, you get from point A to point B. Vienna is one of the top cities for cycling. Again, amazing way to see the city, so much easier. You don't know what buses are like.
Bus wankers!
Like, I'm always afraid getting on buses. Even in my own city, I'm afraid of getting on a bus.
Crackton is the stop.
Crackton? That doesn't sound right.
Because I'm going to get stranded somewhere. And you think you're going to go from A to B, but it goes via this, via that, and everything else. I'm always afraid of buses.
I should have got off in Crackton.
So rent a bike. Figure out the city bike scheme. It's going to be really annoying at first, and you're doing your credit card and all the rest of it, but it is so inexpensive. So get on your bike.
Oh, on your bike!
It's gonna be okay, no matter come what may. I'm gonna set things straight tomorrow. I let my worries fade, let them sweep away. There'll be another day tomorrow.
So have a great holiday. Please remember these tips, and bon voyage. And don't forget the most important thing, staying in a hotel. Why do you think I have all these pockets?
The first class people they can just get on whenever they want. I've always hated that. First class people board at your leisure. Take your time, first class people. Coach people, no wait, sit, scuzz. Wait, little piggies. So when you do get on, the first class people, they're already sitting there. They're all sprawled out in their big thrones. Bring me the head of a pig. And a goblet of something cool and refreshing. Anyone have a fiddle? Make someone from Coach fiddle for me.